All right, what's going on, everybody? This is the Pop-Up Podcast here with...
I'm Miss Cashflow Properties.
Okay.
And you got your girl, Nat Martin.
And I am Guy Leroy, the tax sale guy. So, ladies, how has everything been treating you lately with the industry that you guys are in?
Well, that's a big question. So for me, I'll say, let's just say within the last year. Yeah. Let's just say that. Life in general has just been a learning experience. Definitely in the middle of transitions, relaunching, rebuilding. So this last year has been very informational, educational, and for a big comeback. Okay. So that's kind of how I could sum it up for this last year for me.
Awesome. For me, I would say this year has been a year of growth and collaboration, putting yourself in new spaces, new markets, learning for myself things that I didn't know, getting out of like that traditional way of operating in my space of real estate, and just learning new ways, creative ways to expand my growth, my business, and help others.
So I got to ask you both this. It's a common thing where everybody always says it is a man's world, right? But we have two wonderful ladies that are dominating their fields. How are you guys when it comes to business and being respected? Like how are you guys treated in your field?
Oh man. Well, I can say real estate is definitely an industry dominated by men. However, it is a space what I've noticed where women are encouraged to get started. Yeah. Women are encouraged to lead the space, to lead talking forums and teach other women how to enter the space and how to thrive in the space because there is so much room.
I think there's a lot of women coming into the industry now, though, on real estate.
Yes, I agree. And so, it is a male-dominated space, but a space where women are welcome.
Okay. Do you feel respected in the space where it's you got to prove?
Well, the great thing about real estate, especially on the investing side, where my specialty is that you just got to find a good deal. Like the numbers rule, right?
Oh,
so
good.
Men dominate, but numbers rule. So if you're a woman and you know your numbers and how to find great deals, then you come in and that makes your mark.
Okay. How about you?
So the man's world, it is a man's world.
I think it's a woman's world. Yeah.
I was going to say, it is a man's world because we allow you guys to believe that. Yes. So we are the creators. My background is military, so obviously this is a man's military. Right. The government is ran by men. For me, in the military space, in the government space, I happen to be a superhero. Okay. My career in the military, my first 9 years, I controlled fighter jets in a very small career field, which was mostly men. So every 5 men, it was only 1 woman. Wow. However, I dominated and led the charge. And then I took over in recruitment and talent acquisition.
So everybody had to answer to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the military, we have ranking structure. So one of the things is I'm a part of the top 1%. First of all, it's only 1% of the American citizens that join and serve in the military. But then within that, there's another 1%. So in the top percent, I'm a senior non-commissioned officer. I'm a master sergeant. In that space, there's still not a lot of women. And then let me even break it down even farther. It's not a lot of women that look like me. Right. Well, there's not a lot of black women.
Okay, yeah, because you're very, in my opinion, you both look very young, right? So coming in, everybody, I'm pretty sure they're like, I ain't gonna take no orders from y'all, like. So, yeah.
Listen, I was coming in. I came in the military at 17. You couldn't tell me nothing. I ain't had no rank or nothing. I'm a natural born leader. I'm telling you, I was from the beginning. I was always told she would not make it. They told me I would get kicked out.
Really?
They said my mouth. I'm from New Jersey and I'm a Virgo, and it was very,
You were very straightforward and blunt like that.
We in a man. You just said something. You said we in a man's world.
But at the same time, I didn't want to believe it.
So it's that thing about respect in the military.
Men, not even that. Men have lack of respect for women at times. And so they feel in any industry where women are starting to come in, and like you said, even with real estate, to dominate or to even come in and make their mark, they feel threatened. So we have a lot of women that serve until even this month. It was Veterans Day last week.
Oh, yeah.
And I did a video. You know what my video said? What? I'm the veteran. I'm not the wife. I'm not the dependent. Because people, they will ask me, oh, are you the veteran spouse? No, I'm the veteran. I served. I saved all y'all asses. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Yeah. So in the military space, women, we're starting to make a mark, especially Black women in leadership positions. And then now that I'm a full-time entrepreneur in the coaching and speaking space, I also see that that's also, I will say, a male-dominated space as well. Because when people say, oh, you're a speaker, you're a motivational speaker, the first thing they think of is E.T., which is my mentor. But it's like, wait a minute. Yeah, Inky. And again, I get mentored by all of them. But it's women out here that's leading the charge. And so I still think that there's respect, but women are still feeling like they have to prove themselves because there's still glass ceilings that have to be broken. So we are breaking them. But it's still something that is still work to be done.
Okay, so in the field that you guys are in, give me an example of something that you overcame that other people watching this would actually, take advice from, so they can actually overcome your situation.
I think that's a great question for you, Coach.
Well, y'all got the resiliency queen. Listen. Whew. I always tell people I didn't name myself the resiliency queen because it's cute. Right. Life happens, and it's not if, it's when. And it's so much that I overcame, and that's why I keep going and growing. I could just say snapshots. I mean, my rap sheet, I've been divorced twice. I had to learn how to walk twice. Wow. I almost died 5 times.
Dang.
You are a veteran. Listen.
Wait a minute.
You gonna skip all that?
I'm just giving, so that way if anybody hears something, I was in a 4-car pileup. I was a natural bodybuilder, fitness competitor, now disabled, can't run.
You had many lives.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm not a cat, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like God is positioning me for something great, and it's on a global impact. So I tell people I'm a real life superhero, but I'm not here because I chose to be here. I'm here because he positioned me to be here. But the things that I went through, because I feel like it was hell on earth, it's so that somebody, like you said, is listening and they're like, oh my God, she went through what? I'm going through that now and I can make it through. So anybody listening, listen, I don't care what you're going through. It could be man or woman, child or elder. Listen, it's going to help you grow to become the better version of you. So that's what I would say.
I like that.
Absolutely, me too. So you're like Catwoman. Let me just say that. Let's throw that out there. Okay. So would I even just you sharing your story for myself, and I think for most people, loss, right? So we all experience loss. And to every person, your greatest loss is your greatest loss.
Right.
Right? So you can never compare the losses, because to each and every person, your greatest loss is your greatest loss. So for me, I can especially say I'm a second generation licensed realtor. My mom was a real estate agent. So I was around real estate for half of my life, literally. So in 2020, she passed right at the beginning, of the pandemic kicking off. And for me, having to readjust life without my backbone, without my life partner, and without the person who really encouraged me to do any and everything that I wanted to do. And so being able to now be in a position where I am literally my ancestors' wildest dreams.
Yes.
Right? Because something she always said she wanted to do was to get started and invest in real estate. That glass ceiling, like we talked about earlier, that we can put over our own selves, because who told her that she couldn't be an investor?
Right.
She was helping investors, right? So that access to information. And when you come in from different backgrounds, low to middle income, you just don't have access to information. So, I guess my comeback or being able to, just bounce back is suffering a loss that was like that made me, that was the core of me, right?
Right.
But being able to do so and do what I saw her do.
But it also molded you to the person that you are today.
Right.
Absolutely. And so, that's why, I help people believe and achieve things that they don't know that they can, that they don't have access to, information to, because it's literally me continuing and doing something my mom said she always wanted to do, and leaving this place, not doing it, right? So it's one of those sayings I've heard. I can't think about who right now. They said like the graveyard, right? The virtuous place. Who was that? It's not Miles Monroe. I can't think of it right now. But like, so many people, you leave this place and you have dreams and things that you've always wanted to do. Always isn't forever, right? So understanding that whatever it is that you want to do it now.
Right.
Man, listen, I'm about to do this now. All right, yeah. So it's very interesting hearing about the loss, because even me, I went through a thing where my aunt actually passed away. And when she passed away, if I was not doing real estate, I wouldn't have been the one who buried her. So the burial cost like $20,000. I put her in a mausoleum. Mind you, I was the first like millionaire in my family, so I hooked everything up. I was like, all right, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna take care of it. And I look back and even at her life, and I was like, Dad, she's the one that actually brought me to the first seminar I ever went to and put that bug in my ear, like, yo, start real estate. And I'm like, damn, she's gone now. And I still got to pay for everybody to be all right, cool, bet. And I took on, you know what I'm saying, and made it happen.
I want to piggyback on that. Yeah. So loss, I know loss at a great scale, and sorry for you guys' losses, because when you say that, people don't understand what life is like after. And so I've lost about 30 to 40 people in about 7 to 8 years.
Oh, you're the veteran.
Not just the veteran. So I lost my sister, who was murdered, and then I lost my mother 2 months later. But then I lost my father. Then I lost my stepmother. Then I lost my brother. And then, and then I did lose veterans to suicide and to combat and to non-combat things as well, and then close friends and family. But it was happening at a great scale. And I still had to be a mother. I still had to work and lead my team. I still had to show up. And once I retired and had moments to myself finally, a lot of stuff hit. And what I realized is that we don't actually have time. We don't take time to grieve. And people don't know loss is not just about when you lose a loved one. You lose yourself. And nobody talks about that. Like you said, your mom was really, she was in real estate, and now like you're in real estate and you making deals, and you're like, I know you have moments where you're like, man, Mom, look, like, Mama, I did it. You know what I'm saying? Or, your aunt took you to your first seminar and you're like, Mom, look at me now. You know what I'm saying? Like, Auntie, look at me now. So it's like we miss or we minimize those type of moments. And that's why I like tell people like, no, right now, live, do whatever you want to do. Because for me, I'm like, my parents aren't here. They couldn't provide for me when I was a kid. But I'm doing everything that, first of all, they couldn't do. And then second of all, everything that everybody thought I wouldn't do. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like
what my haters said that I wouldn't do.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, my mama and them didn't have it. Or my auntie and them didn't have it. And guess what? And then y'all was doubting me. But guess what? But then it's like the third thing is I'm doing everything I want to do. Right. So
you just said something. I want to touch on this real quick. When it comes to doubt, have you ladies dealt with people around you that doubted what you were capable of? Because I know I have, but I want to hear from the ladies. I'm like, y'all got everything. You know what I'm saying? So
that is so interesting when I hear men say women have everything, but then at the same time, what we talked about earlier, right?
Yeah.
The spaces that we have to fight to be in.
Right.
So we come off, especially, being African-American women, we have the double negative. I think that's what they call it. Right. So you are already viewed as not being fully capable of. So out the womb, once you you get out of your parents, whoever's raising you, like that innocent space, you're like, I'm always going to have to work harder. I'm always going to have to outperform just to be seen as equal. Right. So, and then within your family, then you also have to deal with the regular family what do you want to call it, dysfunction?
A little bit.
Yeah. And so you have that as well. So I would say not focusing on it, learning how to manage it. Let me put it that way, because you can ignore, but ignoring doesn't help you really manage it, deal with it, so that it isn't something that's sitting on you and controlling you, because we know ignoring will just come back, right? The feelings about it will come back. And something that you said, Nat, about delayed grieving. Right, we know there's a delayed gratification, right? But in loss, it's like the delayed grieving,
right?
And that is something, as well, that I completely understood what you were saying, and managing, being able to manage. Everything's about emotional intelligence, which I think in our community, right, isn't something that we talk about enough,
right?
And equip each other with the tools to manage just all of the feelings and thoughts that we have day to day.
And I would say, so doubt. I have been doubted my whole life since I was born. So like my mother was in the streets and my mother was on drugs. So I love my mother. And the thing is, people will think, she is this, so what will you be? And it's like...
Gotta prove you wrong.
I ain't gotta prove nothing, because I knew who I was as a kid. My childhood showed them that she's different. Like literally my childhood, like literally I made history as a child in Newark. Like literally I may have grown up in the roughest block in Newark, but I was doing ballet, tap dance. I played the violin. I was an exchange student. Like I was already doing things that you wouldn't think, oh, this woman, she's on drugs in Newark. Like, no. I had a village. But even within my village, it's like, she's different. Yeah. Even to how I ate. It was just so different. It was just, what I mean? Because I'm an 80s baby. So we didn't have vegan, or we didn't have terminology. So it's like, I don't want that, And it's like, you got to eat your food or you go to bed. It's like, well, I'm going to go to bed because I don't eat that. I don't want my meat. I don't want stuff touching. So I was very particular. So a lot of people, they already pre-doubted me since a kid. So what I did was honestly, I prophesized my life. Everything that I'm doing now, I was doing as a kid. Wow. This microphone, I had one. It was pink. So it's like, my brand colors is pink, black, and white. Okay. I had a chalkboard. I had a microphone. I used to have school in session. I used to perform. Like everything I did, like most of the things that you are doing now, people are doing things that someone told them to do. Mm-hmm. You are great at this. You should do this. And they did it, and they hate their life. I don't live like that. What I'm doing now is what I want to do. So guess what? I like to speak. It says she talked too much in class. I speak. You know what I'm saying? I like to dance. I like to have fun.
That's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? So think about when you was a kid. What was the thing that they used to say about you?
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish.
No,
I'm interested because...
No, I want to hear. I want to hear,
right.
So it's two things. Think about what is the thing that they used to say about you, like whether it was talkative or whatever. Just think of that. Mm-hmm. And then think about what is it that when you were a kid that you said, this is what I want to do?
Good. Well, it's different because when I was a kid, I used to fight. Literally, my goal every year was every year I was going to go to school. I was like, I'm going to get like a fight or two this year. I'm from New York. So
you trying to fight? Why are you trying to fight?
I was like, should I have been a boxer? I don't know. But no, it's interesting because even when I was little, my favorite board game was actually Monopoly. So I was like, yo, this is my jam, and sure enough, I'm really into doing real estate now. So I see why that makes sense now. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
What about you?
I can't get over. I used to say, "Set how many fights I'm gonna have."
Right. But wait. Before we get to you, did you win these fights?
Yes.
Okay. I just gotta make sure.
Man, we have a whole group chat with our old high school friends, and we're all in there. It's always a butt of the joke. They're like, "You remember how you used to fight every year?" I'm like, "Oh, shut up."
It's not gonna be. We gonna see guy like Leroy and Mike Tyson or Jake Paul. You gonna be the next person to fight Jake Paul?
One of my childhood friends, right? me and him fought in school, right? And it was one of those fights. But he's now like a famous actor. Like he's on you ever seen the Penguin movie?
Yeah.
And he's on that show. And I'm like, I can't believe when we were dumb and young, we were fighting. I'm like, my man is doing that. I'm doing real estate. Yo, kids are crazy.
Yeah, the things you do.
The things you do. So for myself, I was always smart. I'm telling you, I was always smart.
Did you tell yourself this, or did your mom say this to you?
Okay. So I'm gonna tell this story, right? My dad, my mom, and my brother, all who are now deceased, right? I have one living brother on my dad's side, and so they're 5 years older than me, both of them. I'm in the kindergarten, so I'm 5, which means they're 10, right? And my parents did a reading contest. I can't even get this out. This is so funny. So they wanted to do a reading contest. Like, I don't know if it was to check the reading level.
Tell me you was that kid like that opened the book and was like. But
you're 5.
I was 5, and I'm reading better than my 2 brothers who are 10 years old. So that is so funny. So I was like, there's only one person here. You know, if they hear this, going to be like, why are you telling everybody I couldn't read? Why you telling all my business? So I have always been smart. Even in 2nd grade, we used to have a weekly test. To test your level, and I would finish the test first. My teacher told me to come in, and she pulled out what is a checkbook, but then she pulled this thing out, and she's like, do you know what this is? And I was like, no, what is it? She's like, okay. She's like, I thought you would know how to balance the checkbook. No. I was really, really smart. I was so smart, and I was so good at math.
What school you went to? They didn't bring check. Look, I guess New Jersey, New York, we didn't have it.
My teacher, she pulled out her checkbook. She wanted, because I was so good at math. I would finish all the tests. Wow. And I'm talking. So I've always been smart. So my background, I used to be an IT consultant at NASA. Okay. So just being able to get in any industry, I can do a gap analysis, let you know what's going on. So those consultant skills I brought over into real estate. Yeah. So now I'm able to bridge the gap with.
You ain't gonna stop over that though. You used to work where? NASA?
I heard that too.
You heard that too?
I was like, hold on. I'm like,
she know Elon and them. Like, what are you? She's like NASA.
Listen. So at the time when I got my job at NASA. My son was really young. I was, mom at 22, but I was in a position where I was lost. I really was just trying to figure
how to get on a rocket.
Right.
I was just trying to figure life out. And so when I got the call and, my project manager is going over everything, I was in silence. And his question to me, no BS, he said, I know you're probably wondering why I'm calling you. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, because you don't see. He just said, your skill set is so unique. The industries that you've been able to work in, I know that you have the diverse background to come and deal with this company within a company. Because in NASA, we had the position I had to deal with all from the scientists to the architects to, the engineers. So many companies all coming together. So that's how I got the job. And I was like, you know what? I am smart. And then,
like, wait a minute.
I'm smart. I'm glad you can see that. And so, going into NASA, entrepreneurship, it literally didn't come to me until I was 32. It was not something, I was smart. So it was like, hey, I had a son young. I know that I can just go back to school, get my next degree. I had just applied and got accepted to go after my master's and my master's in finance. So my mind was being an 80s baby. We're stuck in between, go to school, get a good job, right? And this entrepreneurship thing hit. And it hit us big. Right. So we're fortunate because we can see the before COVID entrepreneurship became a big thing and after. So I would say with entrepreneurship at 32, again, I'm working at NASA, I am going to get my master's, PMP, and then entrepreneurship comes along and residual income. And I'm like, I don't remember that in school.
I think we're in a special time where there's like a huge opportunity for entrepreneurs to, do their thing and become that
Right.
And you don't have to make $1 million. Just as long as you're out there doing what you love, I think that's really where it's at.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
I can't imagine living in the 1700s in slavery.
Wait a minute.
But wait. The message is this. There's still people that's living in it right now.
Ain't that how you do it?
The message is this. There's people still in mental slavery. There's people that's still programmed and they're living enslaved within things, within tangible things. So like you said something like, yeah, whether you're going to be the first millionaire for your family, I always used to tell people I am a millionaire. I used to say this, I want to say like 10 years back I started this, I am a millionaire. And so people are like, well, you don't have this and this. That's what you equate a millionaire to me? Mm-hmm. No. I done met billionaire, and listen, you'll be surprised what he was wearing.
It was
okay?
a recent. I'm sorry to cut you off. It was a recent interview with former President Barack Obama, and what he shared with the gentleman in that room was, when you sit around the table with these people, they're not that smart, and I think that was so powerful coming from someone in our community, our culture, who looks like us, to tell us that he's been in the highest position of the land, and he sat around and talked to the highest people all over the world to let us know that you're not that, they're not, there's no superior, group over you, even if they have access to resources that you don't. Right. So to your point, yes, you are.
But it's in us. Because see, my ancestors was kings and queens. I'm a goddess, so I am divine. So I am already in quotes.
She knows who she is.
Yeah, in the world, millionaire, they may equate it to dollar signs, but see, you're a millionaire person. I'm a millionaire mom. Those are the things where I tell people, find your million. Like I literally, like 10 years ago, I used to go live all the time, and I'm like, yo, what's your million? Because people was chasing the money because of our people having less than and thinking, I gotta make it to that, and I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna buy a house and buy a car and this and that. And it's like, cool, right? You get it. But then they're committing suicide and they're not happy. Why? Because they're not fulfilled with inside, right? So it's like, is your mental health millionaire status? Is your financial health millionaire status? Is your spiritual health millionaire status? Is your physical health millionaire status? And so we're all connected to Marcus, right? He mentioned this on one of his interviews, was that everybody's different ages in the realms of their life. And I was like, spot on. He's young. Yeah, me. So like, he's young. He's a millionaire, right? Multi-millionaire. Guess what? I'm a baby. I'm over here crawling in this entrepreneur space. I'm still thinking it's weird out here, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But as far as when it comes to, like you said, resiliency, mental health, mental toughness, I'm a millionaire, baby. Let's go.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now we got, my fit crew people, they millionaires in the fitness. And it's like, so.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk around buff guys now. I'm like, I'm rich too.
It's the small wins, right? It's the small wins in defining the whole person. And I absolutely love, that you find your million. I think that's dope. That's a t-shirt. Find your million.
Listen,
Look, you got 14 days to execute.
Right?
All right, I'm getting on that.
Inside.
What's crazy is you got to think, even I look at it like this. You know how there are, and I'm glad we're still with women, but there's women out here that don't have children, right? Mm-hmm. And there's women out here that do have children. Mm-hmm. They don't even see how they're millionaires in that aspect, where it's like you're lucky enough to even have. I know a couple girls that can't have children because of endometriosis or XYZ, and it's like, it's something that even in the Black community people don't talk about it when it comes to endometriosis and so on and so forth, man. So when it comes to that aspect of being a millionaire, I can see exactly what you mean.
And for that woman that's hearing that, you are still a woman, and a real woman, a woman that was born a woman. I'm just gonna put that out there, because that bearing children doesn't define you as a woman, but we are still creators and nurturers, and so that is a thing where it's like, well, who am I now? Like, or I can't have, and it goes back to the same message of loss. Like, they lost something within them. So
that defines them, or that society says this defines you. Right?
I'm thinking I'm a millionaire because I got my mom still around. Because think about it. Because I heard from what you said, all the people you lost, and you lost your mom. I'm like, I can't even fathom losing my mama. I will go in hibernation, for a year.
I have a friend now I have a friend now who, who mom has some serious health conditions, and so she was around when my mom passed, and in talking to her, I'm able to say, hey, you're blessed because you're not waking up tomorrow and she's gone. You have what's called preparation time. You're going to still suffer the greatest loss that you will ever feel.
Preparation time.
But you have preparation time,
right.
and take it from a person who didn't have preparation time, right? So that is a blessing. I was just fortunate enough that, there was no unsaid words between me and my mom because we had such a great, we were life partners. Right. It's like life partners. So there were no unsaid words between us. I was just blessed to not have to say, oh, I need to say I love you one more time, or I didn't say this. There was nothing.
Right. And that's important.
Unsaid. So, I just encourage anybody, because I know people, my brother on my dad's side, he, had unsaid words to his mother who didn't raise him and who, so I just encourage anybody, the time is now. Truly, the communication that you need to have it. I don't care if it's a text, if it's an email, the things that you want to do with your life. If it is getting fit, like you said, that finding your million, if it's getting fit, if it's investing, you mentioned, Guy, about, the whole, when we got into the whole millionaire talk, if you are going to be the first millionaire in your family and you want to be the change in your family, I had to learn, what's your net worth? What does that mean, right? That defines a millionaire, because you can make $1 million, but then you got $600,000 in expenses, and then
$1 million that owed the IRS half. I didn't even learn that till later. I was like, hold on, I got a silent partner over here.
Exactly,
that's what it is.
So there's a difference in saying, I want to make $1 million and I want to be a millionaire. Generational wealth is a real thing, and the difference again when we say who was given a silver spoon, who wasn't, right? We love, our upcoming president in the sense of his business mind, right? And how many hotels and casinos and real estate he's been able to have. But we know he was left. He didn't have to get it out the mud.
Right.
So I tell everybody, if you had to get it out the mud, your kids shouldn't have to. And what are you doing now and today to make sure that your kids do not have to get it out the mud, that you can't leave them a job, okay? They may not even want your brick and mortar business. Mm-mm. It may suck. They may see you get up every single day, right, opening your store, and it may absolutely suck.
They don't want it. They don't make these kids don't want nothing. I'm trying to tell you, they don't want it.
So it's like, what are you doing to let's first define what a millionaire is, and then let's acquire these assets so that we can truly have a net worth to be determined a millionaire. It's not about what you can make. My dad used to always tell me, it's not about what you can make and what you can get on the up. It's about what you can keep, right? It's about what you can keep, because life goes up and down. Every entrepreneur, all of us in this room, and anyone who will ever hear this know, as an entrepreneur, there are highs and there are lows. So how are you riding those highs and lows? And it's about what you can keep. So when we think about the things that we can keep, where are you putting this money that you're making?
Right.
Is it growing?
Stocks and bonds.
So that's my take on it.
Another thing when it comes to being the example for your children and even a family they're watching you, right? This is the thing. I served 20 years in the military. My son's father also served in the military. He didn't do as long as I did, but he served. Ask my son if he want to go to the military. Hell no, he won't go, right? So he soon as if I give him permission to cuss, he probably would cuss and say that. But he nah, I'm good. And that's what it is. And I told him, I said, you're supposed to be. I had to. Your daddy had to. But guess what? Now, your mama's a full-time entrepreneur. Your daddy got multiple businesses. You know what I'm saying? You see the example. We both had to. Now we have assets. We have businesses. We have done things. So now you get to become, I don't say the silver spoon. I say for us that had to get out the mud, we got to be careful of creating these HOA kids. Because I told my son, I said, one time I felt you been unappreciative. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know. Again, I was raised in Newark and New York, so it's a hard concrete jungle out here. And so I'm like, I done gave you HOA. Like, maybe I should have sent you back home, you know? Yeah, maybe I should have just sent you up there a couple times. But what I realized with even my scope of business in the military, being a recruiter and going into schools and talking to these kids and listening to their mindset, they're fearless.
Yeah, they are.
They're innovative. They keep me on my toes. I'm like, oh my God, I learned so much from them. But what I learned was that they not with the shit.
They're traditional.
Whatever the parents, like, so when you were saying, like, they don't want they don't want it. They want to create, but they learning. So the thing is, they're gonna see you, and the things that because again, having a teenage child, I'm learning, like, oh, this, like, it's different when I work with other people's kids, and now I'm like with my child.
Your own is always going to give you a run for your money.
Yeah, because I'm like, so what we doing? That's not, no, okay, Jesus, okay. But I learned that I'm like, at the end of the day, they're going to make their own decisions. But they still watching, and they're still, like, picking up the pieces. So like you said, they see the person opening, they shop every day. And they're like, oh, that looks like, you know, whatever. They see that, but they're like, oh, that looks like whatever. But they see that their parents have work ethic. Yes. They have determination. They have consistency. Yeah. So, but then now their innovativeness and creativity can be like, you know what? I'm going to do something, but I'm going to do this.
I agree with you. But also, I'll give you an example. My little brother, right? He's 26 years old. He never met his father. Right? Okay. When I tell you this kid, I think it's in your blood, to be honest with you, because this kid walks like his father, because I knew his father.
Okay.
Walks like him, talks like him, looks like him, goes to church like him and everything, cheats like him too. And I'm like, hold on,
wait a minute now.
This your daddy's child. And he never, but I'm saying that because I'm like, yo, like these kids, they do pick up, even if it's in their bloodline.
But it's like,
in them.
It's in you.
I cannot.
It's in you.
Hey, I'm being honest.
It's
I'm like,
in
yo,
you.
Ricky, if you listen to this.
Right.
Don't say his name.
We got the disclaimers.
Yeah, man.
His name's Bobby. His name's Bobby.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so to close this out, ladies, how do you feel the nation has changed or shifted since this last election? Now, not getting into politics,
right?
But we did have a female that was, you know, at one of the highest levels you can possibly be in the nation. How do you guys feel as a woman in that presence at that moment?
So you asked, I heard two questions. You know, one was about just the overall, I think,
You did
being.
say you were smart earlier, yes. Go ahead. Questions.
See? So the first question, it just sounds like overall, right? Like the health and welfare of our country overall. And it actually just goes into what we were just talking about, being moms and having children, right? Because I know us 80 babies, we run this, let me officially say it, to the 90s and 70s, you know. However, our future truly is in our children's hands. That's where the future is. So there's things that we can do, right, to sustain or protect or to fight. However, the change is truly going to come from that next generation. So when you talked about the innovation of our children, not wanting to do anything traditional, right, they are truly going to create the next tech. The next, you know, how to tech with real estate. You know, they are going to take these founding principles that our country was built on, land, real estate, stock, capitalism. They're going to take it and they are going to define what that looks like for us. So it is going to change. So yes, we have a 70-plus-year-old, you know, head of our country. However, the innovation, like nothing can change that, right? So that's why it's our responsibility to give our children the things they have not had, to give them the stability that they need, because what they're after, what you said, it came to thought, your son's after freedom. My son's after freedom. They don't want to open up the stores because they want.
Son is after girls right now. I'm like, hey, Mom.
So, look, I had this conversation with my son. I was like, listen, you want to go on dates? He took his girlfriend. Yeah, I'm talking again. I don't know. We got to. went on a $100 date. I was like, but this date was $100. Like, let's talk about finances. Let's talk about what your quality of life going to be right now. And I think you better either go hard in investing or hard in options or get.
Because he already has standards. Okay, is she the one? And she better not be. And what you also said about being grateful. Mm-hmm. So that's a new. When we coming from the backgrounds that we do, we didn't have silver spoons. Right. But that silver spoon, that, sense of entitlement or ungratefulness, it's just a new skill. It is a byproduct of us giving our kids the opportunity, right? Them not having to start out the mud. So it's a new skill set that we as parents have to develop. So it challenges us becoming more emotionally intelligent and knowing how to manage that, because that's where I am with my son. When he went to college last year, I got an investment property just to pay for his expenses. Again, not wanting to get another job. Let me go get this investment property that's going to cash flow $700 a month. There's your monthly allowance to go to school. Right. Because I'm not going to work. That's not an option. So, but again, I say to moms and dads, you don't have to drive DoorDash or Uber to send your kids to college. Make the investments that can give you a return that can not only just cash flow for them today, but guess what? That thing called equity. Yes. That thing that he can come back in 4 years when he graduates, and now he has access to $50,000, $60,000 to then be free and innovative. Yes. To be innovative and create, because that's who we need to invest in, because they're going to make sure that when we're 60 and still thinking we run this because we're 80s babies. We forever running this. What?
We need them. We need to have created the freedom for them and given them the opportunity and not have limited resources the way we had. They should not. If you had to get it out the mud, your kids should not have to.
Right. I say that the way that the nation is being ran, again, I have a different view of the country because I give the freedom of this country. And the POTUS, which is, the president, I've served under Bush. I served under Obama. I served under Trump.
I got scared. Are you about to say Reagan?
No. I served under. I started with Bush. I said Bush now. Okay, I served under. Okay, I joined in.
She's an '80s baby.
Right. No, I joined the military November 2001, right after September 11th. I was supposed to go to basic training in September because I was like, I can't go until I'm 18. So my birthday is September, but then that happened. And again, it happened right in my backyard. I'm in Newark, and again, New York is right across the bridge. So it was just a lot happening. I'm like, what? And even then, I was like, all right. Everybody's like, you still going? Yeah, I'm about to get this money. Like, what you talking about? Like, I got things to do. And so I served under different leaderships, whether it was Republican or Democratic or whatever. So it's like, that's not a baseline for me. The baseline is always looking at what is it that I need for me, my household, my community, and then we go out. Because when you look at things talking about the world, we're not saving the world until we save ourselves, our household, our community, our state, and then our country. So I always look at what is in my household. So when people have different conversations, my vantage point and viewpoint is different because I have a military household. Am I going to get pay raises for me? Am I going to have, so it's like, again, for different, so I always tell people, don't look at things as black and white as a label that they tell you, this is good, this is bad, this is black, this is white. No. Let's look at what is it that you need. Y'all are in real estate. Let's talk about, okay, is this going to be beneficial for the market in real estate? So I always look at things from that point. So a person don't run this country. The figment of imagination of what the power of influence to have people programmed to think that, it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. But as entrepreneurs, if you actually learn the power of persuasion and influence, you can do that too. So the person that's running the country, it's a person. Now, as far as like making sure we hold people accountable, that's what we have to do. So that part, I would say I am on board with making sure we activate and open people's minds to holding our country accountable, because things can change. Our children, they already making change. They've been making noise saying, nah, we're not with this. But we are the ones that's been kind of holding back, because if we are not sitting there to say demanding change, the pandemic was an example. We watched how many people did I say was in slavery. They told them do something, they did it. It's like, what? I'm Harry.
Yay, listen.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about it as an example, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They followed suit so easily. But then the ones that was like, no. They're like, what's wrong with y'all? And da-da-da. And it's like, and I stand firm. No. No is no. I'm Harriet Tubman of this. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, always keep that in mind. Because I told somebody last week, I said, man, what happened to them vaccinated people? Am I sitting next to them? Because they about to start turning to zombies right now. Because, like, I really, like, no.
I cannot turn into zombies.
A mental zombie, right. I don't trust people like that. Yeah. You know, some of you, not you know, we
ain't getting into all that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I don't really trust people. I think you said it, or maybe earlier someone said it, where it was like people that just easily go along with something. Yeah. And it's like, you ain't, like you said, what's the question? If you don't think for yourself, or you're not challenging it,
easily manipulated. Yeah.
It's like, so to answer the question, I don't believe in just one person running this nation, but it takes all of us as a collective to start doing our part, being our part, changing the game for ourselves, our household, our community, and then initiating and lobbying change for the country. And then as far as a woman being in a leadership position, I think that it was a highlight reel of what's to come. And for me personally, I am Nat Martin. I am the next president. I told you I'm a real life superhero, because what's to come, I don't believe that the qualifications fit the role, to be exact. I am a leader in the military, and I know some firehouse women leaders. And I think that when that time comes for history to be made, it's going to be. But I think this one gave us I say God give us eye winks. Like, haha, y'all thought this was going to be it? Whoever he's building, maybe me, maybe Lola, like whoever he's building for that woman in leadership, she's coming.
She's like 2 years old right now.
I was going to say, we talked about the children, like who's truly going to make that change?
Yeah.
It was inspiration for some little girl somewhere to be that one and to know that it's possible.
Yes.
Listen, I'll leave on this. My mom used to say, if someone had just told, I promise you guys, this is like 2015. If someone had just told me that I could be the president of the United States, I would have been the first woman president. Right. She told me this in 2015. If someone had just told her that she could be the president, that she would have been. Go back to what
you asked the first question. Just circled it all the way back. You said, as a woman, you asked us the very first question. In a man's world,
yes.
What can we do? And what did I say? They said, I'm not going to make it. I didn't see no black female chiefs. Yep. I didn't know I can be a chief in the military because I didn't see none until like 10 years in.
Man, women are powerful.
So we just need a spoken word.
Say that out loud again.
Oh, yeah.
Women are powerful.
He done put the deep voice on.
Yeah, on that note, guys, we are out on a pop-up. And we'll see you guys next time with the One Percenters.
Absolutely.
Right. Yes.
Awesome.